Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm summer welcome into yet another edition of Cory Comments On. I'm your host, Cory McKnight. Welcome to the show. I hope you join me every Friday at 2 and 5 p.m. right here on All WNY Radio. Today is Friday, June 22nd, 2018. Yesterday was the first day of summer, technically. Hooray. Awesome. I love summer. Who doesn't in Western New York? That's all we live for, is like these 2 months where it's actually kind of nice. It is also National Take Your Dog to Work Day today. I don't have a dog. I've never owned a dog before in my life. I don't have one now. If I did, I still wouldn't take it to work. If you're the person taking their dog to work and it's not a service dog or something like that, yikes, you're part of the problem. Like those little yappy dogs in the bags girls carry around. Okay, never mind. Anyway, because it's summer, take your dog to work, by the way. Go ahead, do whatever you want. Because it's summer, that means it's time for the music festival season. And when it comes to festivals, I have some good news and I have some bad news. Let's start with the bad news first. Bad news is that I have to work like 5,000 of them throughout the next month, pretty much. And I'm going to be working like a dog, walking around in the heat, and yeah. So, I mean, I get to see some cool live music here and there. We don't really have anything too crazy this summer. Last night I got to see a Led Zeppelin cover band that was actually amazing. They're called Get the Lead Out. Highly recommend them. And I've seen, let's see, we got G Love and Special Sauce is coming here. And we got a Queen cover band coming. We didn't really get too many famous acts for, especially the Party in the Park this year here in Rochester. But I know where some famous acts are playing. And here's the good news. Exciting news for All WNY Radio at the Warped Tour at Darien Lake, July 25th, over in Darien Center, New York. That's on a Wednesday, by the way. There is going to be a Western New York corner stage with all Western New York bands, and not only that, but I believe it is a 24-hour straight podcast that's going to be going on at the venue, and it is going to feature our very own Think So Joe, and the lovely Karina as well from the Think So Joe show. I believe Nick and Dan from the Nick and Dan show are also going to be there. Going to have to verify that. Don't quote me. But definitely Think So Joe and Karina. They're going to podcast right from Warped Tour live. That's so awesome. The local bands that are included are County Kings, Toy Box Brigade, Stolen Bikes, Wyatt Coin, Lucky 33, and many more. There's at least 5 or 6 more local bands that are set to play at Warped Tour. And it is the final nationwide Warped Tour. This is it. A staple of my childhood is coming to an end. Well, it wasn't a staple of my childhood per se, but for my generation, a staple of our generation is coming to an end as a national tour. I think they're still going to do select dates moving forward. No longer a nationwide tour. So this is an extra special one for that reason, and because All WNY News and Radio is about to be in the house with Think So Joe and Karina, Nick and Dan, whoever else wants to go. Probably not me. I'm going to tell you why. Here's what I want to talk about when it comes to Warped Tour. I'm as excited as I am about the Western New York stage. Warped Tour, it's going on like it's, I don't even know, 20th year or so. Who knows? It's been going a long time, 20 years or something like that. And it hasn't been good in about 15. I'm just going to start off with that. I'm just throwing it out there. Warped Tour hasn't had a fully, solid lineup of anything that interests me, I guess, in particular, in a really long time. Probably more like 10 years. So we've had half a decade of, half a decade. That's 5 years, silly. Half of the decade was good. The other half, okay, you know what I mean. 10 years good, 10 years bad. So, they don't have the bands that kind of really, founded the thing, and a lot of them are still together and playing, which is what I don't get. It started as, a punk rock festival, and it has gradually moved into a corporate pop, punk, rock, electronic type festival thing, which everything is moving towards these days. I can't be mad at that. I know it happens, whatever, but they just really kind of completely turned the whole thing on its head. It used to be Rancid, No Effects, Pennywise, Bouncing Souls, Bad Religion, all those bands were associated with Warped Tour, and now we got Bring Me the Horizon and A Day to Remember and lots of other bands with long, stupid names that they picked out of a random book they've never read to look cool. So that sucks. So I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. If you go to the Warped Tour this year and you venture away from the Western New York stage, you should be there the whole time. Just throwing it out there. Wyatt Coyne, he's awesome. Go see Wyatt Coyne. Go see Think So Joe and Karina. Nick and Dan. But if you're there and you venture away from the Western New York stage, I got a couple tips for you. First and foremost, wear earplugs. Ear protection is important for your ears and for hearing and for your love of music. It's important. But other than that, I would wear the earplugs to avoid some of the bad music, too, that you're going to be walking by. And I would definitely also bring the earplugs for the screaming girls. And you'll know what I mean if you go to this thing and there's some kind of A Day to Remember type band there that is like some, I don't even know. The girls like them? I don't know, I guess. It's like boy bands, kind of, but they have guitars and stuff now. Second tip, always wear sunscreen. Points if you know where that comes from, that reference. Don't forget to wear sunscreen. It's always like the fucking hottest day of the year at Warped Tour in Darien Lake, or like the rainiest day of the year. It's always like extreme weather, but it's usually hot as hell. Don't forget to wear sunscreen. You don't want the skin cancers. Third tip, pregame in the parking lot. Parking lot party. This goes for any concert at Darien Lake because the beer and food are outrageously expensive once you get into the venue. Pregame in the parking lot, tailgate, whatever. Don't drive drunk, but when you get there, have your drinks or whatever and maybe cook out or something. Play some beer pong, some can jam, lawn darts, sure. Anyways, speaking of lawns, fourth tip, get your lawn spot early. If you are going to Darien Lake for a concert and you're going to be sitting on the lawn, get there early, or else you're going to be way in the back. I really hate the way that Darien Lake is set up as a performing arts center, whatever, as a venue. I don't like the setup whatsoever. I've seen many concerts there. The lawn is at the back instead of the front, and then the seating is in the front, which is super weird. You would think it would be reversed, where like the dance floor, the lawn or whatever, the standing room is at the front of the stage and then there's seating behind. Reversed. So if you're at the lawn and then you get thrown way in the back of the fucking crowd, you're barely going to be able to see the band. You can hear the music, even though the sound's not very good. But get there early, get your lawn spot, throw a blanket down or chairs or whatever, and don't fucking move, because somebody will take your spot. And the last tip is to check out a couple of the actual good bands that I found on the lineup here for Warped Tour. They still do have a few that I would recommend. Every Time I Die, local boys from Buffalo. They're fucking sick. They're heavy. Go see Every Time I Die. Look out for Real Big Fish, one of the original Warped Tour kind of ska, punk, pop lineups. Less Than Jake, same thing. They're a classic band, just like Real Big Fish, been around a long time. And Unearth is dope. So go see Unearth. A band that I've never heard of. I have no idea what their music sounds like, but they're going to be playing the Warped Tour. D's Nuts will be playing. And I'm going to recommend seeing them, even though I know nothing about them, even though the band is called D's Nuts. That's all I know. And I'm recommending it because that's just like the fucking biggest troll band name ever, and I kind of like it. So anyways, are you going to the Warped Tour this year? What do you think about the Warped Tour? The lineup changes. What do you think about the Western New York stage? Think So Joe, Nick and Dan, Broadcasting, Karina, everybody's going to be there. I might try to go, but it's going to be right in the middle of me working fucking hellacious hours. If I'm going to go to a Warped Tour, though, it might as well be the last one. That's going to be at Darien Lake. So, I don't know. Maybe you'll see me there. But definitely go see the other people from All Western New York Radio and go see the local All Western New York bands. You love to see it. WNY Corner at Warped Tour 2015. That, again, is Wednesday, July 25th at Darien Lake. Come out and see it. And come out and see me next week here on Cory Comments On. Join me every Friday at 2 and 5 here on All Western New York Radio. Everybody, enjoy the official kickoff of summer. Hell yeah. Cook some dogs, cook some burgers, have a beer. Cory McKnight, your buddy, will be back next week, and you can join him. Hit me up on Twitter at All WNY Cory. I still can't do it right. At All WNY Cory if you want to talk about the Warped Tour. Hit me up. Link me. I'll see you guys next Friday. Everybody take care. Bye.